On this week's weekly video fishing forecast, we have all you need to know about the big Bluefish tournament this weekend. Fred has an update on the beach access and the surf action. I take a boat back in time from Lilly Fishing Station in Mauritius, and we have the latest from all of our correspondents around the island, all here at the weekly video fishing forecast.
The fishing news is sponsored by these fine partners.
I know the East End took most of the force from the last weekend storm, and I hope you all fared well. Hopefully the upcoming weekend will make up for the last weekend. Let's check in with News 12 meteorologist Rich Von Oer for the outlook this weekend. Rich?
All right, thanks, Matt. Hey, anglers, let's check out that weekend forecast coming up. And yes, as mentioned, hopefully it's going to be a little better than it was last weekend with Henri. You can always check your favorite websites, your favorite apps, whatever you got weather-wise to get more specifics on the upcoming weekend. This is a general overview, general heads up on what's happening. So we start out with water temps, which have been coming up a little bit more. We had a hot week again, a lot of 70s here. Now the wave heights deceiving. Saturday morning, it looks okay very early, but watch what happens quickly. 2 to 4 has become 4 to 8. Easterly breeze. I've been seeing this on the models here throughout the week. It looks like a nasty kind of raw, cool day. Different from what we had seen during the week. It looks like Sunday things start to settle a bit. Maybe the better day of the weekend. We go 2 to 4, 48, kind of a lumpy roll, more of a southeast, northeast breeze. And then late in the day, Sunday, of course, it gets a little bit better. There's also some green on there Saturday. Again, maybe this changes, but looking at an easterly 10 to 20, it's been fairly consistent showing that wind on Saturday from the east. So the ocean's going to be a little bit of a mess. The eastern end, Montauk, the Sound, not terrific. Sunday it gets a little better. The winds lay down a bit, go more northeast, maybe 5 to 15. So maybe the more fishable day is Sunday. And again, high tides, North Shore for the early morning, South Shore for about midday. High temps, cool on Saturday. It's going to be in the 70s, and then we get 70s near 80, a little warmer as we go into Sunday. Let's check out the Guru. And confirming, there's your Saturday. Look at that. Look at that, all that easterly breeze there. I mean, it's been showing this quite a bit, and that's kind of nasty. I wouldn't, be surprised small craft advisory goes up Saturday. And then there's Sunday, a little better. A little northeast, but lighter, looking better. The waves subside. I think that's going to be the better pick of the weekend. But again, just check things out as we get closer. Either way, be safe, have fun, have a great weekend. Matt, back to you.
If you want to get in on the fishing action in Mauritius Bay, you could hop on a party boat, trailer your own boat, or take a skiff and be your own captain. That's just what I did last week. Lilly is a great option for those who don't have access to a boat and want to quiet down the water with family or friends. These have been a staple on Mauritius Bay since 1932 and continue to be to this day. There's a reason why Lilly's is so popular. Mauritius Bay is one of the best shallow water fluke areas around, and it's only minutes away in one of their skiffs. Doubleheader.
First cast of the day, first keeper of the day. One cast, one fish. Caught him on the spoon bucktail rig from Tommy Ducks at Back Bay Outfitters. Thanks, Tommy.
So I decided while fluking today, I'm going to have a bit of fun. What I did was I got my actual freshwater rod. I got 5-pound Power Pro on here. And actually, it's got it here right now. I got 5-pound Power Pro on here, so we're going super light today. And I'm using 1/4 ounce bucktails with a teaser. Also, what I have on here is, let me show you guys real quick. I have a tactical angler's clip just to switch out the bucktail if the current picks up too much. We're using gulp today. So my current rig is 1/4 ounce bucktail, teaser, 15-pound weighted material, 5-pound braid. It's a ton of fun. I suggest you guys give it a shot, try things differently. Lilly has been around longer than me, and they continue to do a great job catering to fishermen who want to explore the bay for an array of species. Besides the rentals, they also offer dining, a clothing shop, and fishing tackle, as well as a marina. Give them a call at 631-878-0247 or visit them at sillylily.com. Now let's check in with Fisherman's senior editor, Fred Golofaro, with the latest on beach access and surf action. Fred.
Hey Matt, yeah, and it looks like we caught a break with Henri moving east there, taking that little jog. Really spared the main part of the island, or most of the island. Montauk did get hit pretty good. But all in all, we came out in good shape as far as the beaches go. Only Gilgo remains closed. Out in Montauk, all those beaches reopened by Wednesday morning, yesterday morning. All the Suffolk County beaches were reopened by Tuesday. Demo was reopened Monday at 5 o'clock, and the Sore Thumb, although the Sore Thumb does have some limited access there. There wasn't a whole lot of beach to begin with, between the Thumb and Cedar to start. And as I said, Gilgo remains closed. That's really the only beach that's not looking good at this point. There is a major dredging project planned for this fall, later this fall. In the meantime, hopefully the beach builds up, or they can do a quick fix, replenish it with some sand they have stored already. As far as the fishing goes, bluefishing did seem to slump in a couple of areas. I know I spent 4 or 5 trips to Fire Island this week already, and never saw a bluefish. First time since the spring that been shut out on blues. They've been very, very consistent. It was excellent last week, the prior week. Hopefully they return. I don't see why they won't. The inlet is literally packed with bait, tons of 1 to 2 inch spearing, which is a good sign. Montauk too, which had a lot of bluefish prior to the storm, that slowed, and Montauk's beaches took a bit of a beating. They had a decent surf out there and a lot more wind than we had up island. But again, that should come back too. Up on the North Shore, that topwater fishing early in the morning and in the evenings, that's still happening. Mostly blues, but some nice bass mixed in also. Then there were some fish also, further west, that Smithtown Bay area, cocktail blues, and some school bass at night over there. Shinnecock, good blue fishing there this week since the storm. A few bass at night on bucktails, and the first showing of bonito coming up. And going back to Fire Island, there was a lot of life, although there were no bluefish. Looked like Spanish mackerel, possibly bonita jumping, and that was going on the whole length of the inlet from Demo all the way back to the bridge. Unfortunately, nobody was hooking up, and a lot of the fish were out of casting range. But there is a lot of life there. And that's pretty much it at this point. Far west, the Rockaways, Breezy Point, still those cocktail blues there, and a few bass at night, but you really got to work for them. But we're headed for September. September's around the corner. We're going to start getting more northwest winds, some cold fronts coming through, cooler nights, and everybody I talk to is talking about the abundance of bait, whether it's peanut bunker or white bait. It just seems like we're set up for a really good fall. Matt, back to you.
The 39th annual Greatest Bluefish Tournament on Earth takes place this Saturday and Sunday in Long Island Sound. Lines are in the water by 12 a.m. on Saturday, and final weigh-ins must be made by 5 p.m. on Sunday. Phone and in-person registrations must also be done by 7 p.m. on Friday. You can visit www.bluefishtournament.com for a list of all the weigh-in stations and registration info. A few tips to remember when out on the water fishing are: keep an eye out for bunker pods. If you snag a bunker and get no takers, try chunking the bunker to get more scent in the water. Trolling the middle grounds is also a good bet for connecting. If you're located on the east end, focus your efforts on the east side of the race and gut for potential winning fish. Let's check in with the Fisherman's New England editor to find out where those monster blues may be hiding on the Connecticut side of the Sound. Dave?
I'm just going to give you a little rundown of what's going on this side of Long Island Sound. There are some big bluefish to be caught in 3 areas. So the race has been very good for about a week and a half to 2 weeks for big bluefish. It really averaging, in that 7 to 10 pound range, but you have a legitimate shot at getting something that's going to make the leaderboard, 12, 13, maybe even 14 pounds. The other place that's got them is the mouth of the river. There's been a lot more bait over there. I talked to Mike Roy, and he said he's seeing some butterfish over there. There's bunker there. There's a lot of peanut bunker and other small baits. So he said that he's seeing a lot more bluefish overall and seeing some pretty good numbers of better fish. And then out in the Western Sound, middle ground has been very good. There's been a lot of really nice fish out there. It's probably the best spot to go look for a really big one right now. There's many different ways that these fish are being caught in all of these areas. Diamond jigs are always very popular. Sometimes you can find these schools or really big ones finning out over really deep water. You can get them on like the splash walk or the dock or a pencil popper. But one of my favorite ways to look for big bluefish is to find bait. And big bunker schools are always going to provide the best opportunity to find really big bluefish. So, you know, if you're looking for that one tournament winning fish and you don't care about catching a million of them, playing musical chairs with the bunker schools is a good way to find, you know, a giant. And you might get some really nice striper bycatch in the process. So, I mean, it's a good way to have a fun day, and you have so many different options. You know, you can throw plugs, you can throw big metal, or you can snag a bunker and swim it around out there, and hopefully you catch that $20,000 bluefish.
If you're looking for big bass action, Block Island still may be the spot for you. Daniel Morris ran to Block Island from Montauk to catch and release this nice 44-inch striped bass on a live eel. Hopefully last week's storm didn't shuffle the deck too much. From Shinnecock, let's check in with Mike Dean. Mike.
Thanks, Matt. Hope everybody got through the storm okay. It was obviously pretty scary stuff when it looked like that direct hit coming at us. A lot of people had to hustle, pull their boats, get, you know, do the typical storm preps. So, you know, at least we were spared, and anybody that had some troubles, you know, as a result of it, hope, you know, back on your feet and back at it pretty quick. Unfortunately, the storm cut the Hamptons Offshore Invitational short. There had been some very nice fish brought in prior to, I guess, Thursday. A few people got out, and then after that, it was pretty much over. But I believe it was like a 260-pound big eye, some really nice size albacore, 152-pound yellowfin, and all this. There were still a few people that came in, you know, late Thursday afternoon, Friday morning. They didn't have the awards dinner, so you know, I may be off on one or two of those fish, but I went out on Wednesday with a buddy, Mike Monet, who's one of the sponsors of the tournament, on his 32 Triton. It was an experience. We didn't really have much luck. We went to Fishtails, the weather buoys, and then just a little west of West Atlantis. And it's just so cool being out there to see the pilot whales, see sharks, see, you know, just usually like when I see a massive like bunker pod, you know, off the beach, we're seeing that were mahi. So very cool. Very also really cool, just the camaraderie of the captains on the radio, helping each other out. Obviously some gamesmanship is involved there, but just very, very, just an awesome experience. We were 95 miles out when it was time to head home, a little bouncy for a little bit on the way in. I earned my stripes running the boat for a solid 2 hours. So a really cool experience. Since the storm, I've not heard a lot of tuna reports, but, you know, there are some fish around, Ranger, Quambra, you know, definitely worth it. I mean, today was dead flat, so I'm sure a few people had some nice catches today. In terms of the inshore fishing, striped bass off the beach, didn't really seem like much was happening. I thought maybe they'd chew after the storm. They didn't chew before the storm. I tried that. But today I fished late afternoon into sunset over just east of Shinnecock East. A couple cocktail blues, ton of bait in the water, really small, I believe, peanut bunker. Saw some dolphins out there, ran into a guy in the parking lot, got his 26-inch bass on a paddle tail, and said it was just, you know, really fat, 26 inches. So good sign for things to come. You know, still, you know, off the beach with the clam bellies on a circle hook. You know, there are some bass. There's also blues. There's some of these big rays keep hearing about, which is pretty exciting. I got into a couple of bass the other day back in the bay, that same kind of summer doldrum bite, you know, small fish that are focused in on all that bait that's like right at the edge of the marsh. So that's something to go after. A couple of blues mixed in there as well. Fluke bite still going pretty good. You know, even though that storm swell last week, it slowed it down. Heard a really nice trip this morning on for a couple of guys that got into, you know, in that deeper water, 60, 70, 80 feet of water, got, you know, nice keepers. You know, I think one was like an 8-pounder. So this weekend, weather looks good, definitely better than last weekend. So get out there. Any info you need on referrals for charters, party boats, what to do off the beach, don't hesitate to reach out either in the comments below, or you can reach me on social media. And until next week. All right, back to you, Matt. Take care.
Now let's get an update on the Dreamboat contest with Tim C. Smith.
The Dream Boat Race continues with a 11.1 pound fluke entered by Tom Kelly Jr. weighed in at Saltwater's Tackle in West Islip, New York. Tom's entry puts him in the 6th place position. The number 1 fluke remains to be Rashawn Williams, and that fish is still leading the Fish of the Month for August. So get out there and compete, as the best part of the season is going on now. The Dream Boat Fishing Challenge is the Fisherman subscriber-only season-long multi-species fishing competition with a chance to win a 25-foot Steigercraft center console powered by Yamaha, along with many other great prizes. Subscribe now to the Fisherman magazine to be part of the action.
With our fly-in freshwater report, we have Paul McCain from River Bay Outfitters.
Hello, Matt. Well, this has been a crazy week. Once again, high water on all the rivers. This hurricane really threw a monkey wrench into it. But the good news is, I actually got my trailer. I ordered it 15 weeks ago, and I finally got it. So now I'm out on the back bays. I spent the whole day on Tuesday with my beautiful wife and my good friend Kenny. Kenny, in the morning, we caught some fluke, we caught some sea robins, even a couple of sea bass. In the afternoon, what I gotta say, my wife is high hook again. Caught a bunch of fluke and a bunch of sea robins. But when the fishing's slow, what do? Well, you go eat at one of these terrific clam bars down here on the water. So, I mean, it's not fly fishing, but it's great to be out there. Great way to start the end of the summer, getting ready for the fall run. So, until next week, tight lines, everybody.
Patty Ann Charters out of Captree has been on the tuna grounds. Brandon Rutigliano has the latest from Captree Bait and Tackle and Jones Beach Bait and Tackle, including this weekend's Snapper Derby.
I wanted to let you know that we are having a free Snapper Derby this Saturday at Captree, the 28th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Register at the shop. There is a kids and adult category, equipment prizes for the kids and bragging rights for the adults. Free fishing rods for the first 50 kids that enter, which were donated by the Montauk Surfcasters Association. All are welcome. This weekend's specials, we will be giving a free snapper popper with purchase of snapper rod or other light fishing combo. Best bet for this weekend, if you want to fish the docks, would be targeting kingfish, sea bass, blowfish, and porgies. All smaller fish, but great action for the kids using clams or squid. Stop by the shop to see which bait is working better for that day. Also, Ocean Fluke has been doing great. Check out Nina with a 7.3 pound fluke caught off the jib, and Todd Greenstein, 7.5 pound fluke, taking in 80 feet of water off of his boat. With the great fishing after Hurricane Henry, I'm sure it will continue through the next week. Early morning weak fish are still around. Pro staff Dylan from the shop caught 2 weak fish from earlier this week. You can check out the picture here, and see you guys next week. Thank you very much.
From the Fire Island area in Great South Bay, let's check in with Captain Al Lorenzetti.
Hey Matt, Fire Island report. There's some word out about some big weak fish being caught early morning when it's real quiet. I mean, like first light, during the week without boat traffic, and all the usual haunts wherever you catch them generally. And those fish are now starting to gather up and start their move to the inlet. Usually by the end of September they move out, and then they're out along the beaches. So that's what's happening now. I'm going to try live lining some snappers and see. We used to do really good with that. We had fish. I've had fish almost 17 pounds doing that, so I'm going to give that a shot. Fluke fishing, not many fish, but some big ones. A few big ones in between. I know of a 10-pound fish, an 8-pound fish caught inside. I also heard of a 10-pound fish caught on the Fire Island Reef, but the reef's been kind of picked over. But if you work on it hard and you find a kind of piece, a tiny piece that really the head boats don't fish, you got a good chance of catching something decent. So crabbing is good, blowfishing is excellent, a lot of kingfish around. So there are a lot of opportunities inshore, and we'll see what happens now after the storm. Everything kind of calms down, and hopefully the fishing gets real good. So that's it for this week, Matt. Take it easy. Talk to you next week.
From Northport, we have Mark McGowan from Cow Harbor Bait and Tackle.
No, folks, it's not an illusion. It's actually a sunny day. Can you believe it? After 4 or 5 straight days of rain, it's beautiful out. It's just in time for this weekend. WICC, World's Greatest Bluefish Contest, $25,000 grand prize. 28th and 29th. Come on down to the shop, get your registration in. It's going to be a wonderful, awesome tournament. Always is every year. And lots of tradition, lots of good times with friends. Let's get to the fishing report. Porgies, you know what's going on with porgies. Even with this rain, there's nonstop porgy fishing. There's sea bass in the mix. The great thing to see is that the striped bass and the bluefish is starting to stir up. We've got a lot of baits. You're looking at butterfish, peanut bunker of all different sizes. The small ones are perfect for those snappers. They're on the spearing as well. The larger peanuts are bringing in these 6 to 8 pound bluefish, and you got some larger teen fish in the mix there, and they're all over the top water in the bait. So this is a great time to really get out there and focus and get your strategy in place for this WICC tournament. As far as other species, sea bass, yeah, the sea bass is, I would stay deep. You're doing well up by 11B, 28C. The normal spots, try over by Connecticut, but always watch your regulations, as if you're in New York, you're going to Connecticut. Remember, things change a bit at times, so you want to stay on top of that. Until next week, I bid you peace and tight lines.
Dave Anderson of the New England Fisherman has an update on the Coastal Kayak Clash. Dave?
It's amazing what a difference one fish can make. This week in the Coastal Kayak Clash, we received a single entry, a 29-inch fluke caught by Bob Wagner, which locked the top of the leaderboard back into a 3-way tie with 6 points apiece. This also vaulted Bob back to the top thanks to his 36-inch bluefish, which is the largest entry logged by any of the top 3 contenders. Something worth mentioning is that the fish of the month for August is the sea robin, which is currently held by Matt Mahoney with his 17.25 incher. You have 5 days to knock him off and snatch the $100 yakattack.com gift certificate from his fishy hands. Time to go bird hunting. Good luck.
Let's check in with Chris Ludwig. Chris?
Hey, thanks, Matt. What's going on, guys? So this last week, I didn't get to do as much fishing as I would have liked to done because this storm had the beaches all ugly and hard to hold baits. But the night after the storm, we did push out there and we saw all these spearing pushed up against the bank by what seemed to be striped bass and bluefish. And a few minutes into it, we started throwing things like this small gambler paddle tail and things like the rainfish to match the spearing profile, and we did well. That was fun. Moving forward, that's all I really have, unfortunately, but I want to address a milestone catch. Chris Stefano, the Long Island Shark Man, caught a great white shark from shore on a bluefish head on what I believe was a 20-0 circle hook. This fish was not targeted, and it was released almost instantaneously. Beautiful fish, and certainly a fish of a lifetime. Congratulations, Chris, and I wish I was there to see the thing swim off. Other than that, I hope you guys have been great. See you all out there, and back to you, Matt.
Captain Mike Sentry has the latest from Staten Island.
Thanks, Tim, Fred, and Matt. Hope all is well. Well, guys, Mike Sentry here. I'm going to start off the week with what was a crazy, incredible inshore, should I say close to shore, bluefin tuna bite. Here's my good friends Steve Lupino and Hans with a nice 69-inch bluefin tuna. Caught on bunker down at the bottom, 4-ounce bank sinker, couple rubber bands, set it and forget it. If you turn on the heat with these bluefin tuna, the overs, you pretty much can land them under an hour. So this one took about an hour to land. And another friend of mine, Dan Rosetto, with a nice, this one was 71-inch bluefin tuna. Again, caught on bunker. Both of these tuna weigh between 150 to 180 pounds. And also, Dan's lady, Brittany, had her first offshore solo trip with Dan, of course. And it was a good day. A lot of false albacore and definitely good weather out there. On the offshore grounds, good friend of mine, Chris Americano, and his buddy, Good Weather Chris, known as Good Weather Chris for obvious reasons, had a good day on the yellowfin tuna. They pretty much ran out towards the secret spot, which everybody should know already. They were chunking sardines, and while chunking, also jigging the Nomad Streakers. 120 grams seems to be doing the trick with those bad boys. Fluorocarbon is definitely a must, guys. That's very important. With the inshore bluefin, especially these overs, I wouldn't do anything less than 130 pound fluorocarbon. Top grade fluor is the must. The fluking remains red hot. Definitely one of the best productive years I have seen in a long time. You're catching a bunch of keeper flukes out there along with the shorts. So it's definitely one of the best years. Well, folks, feel free to follow me on Facebook or Instagram at Anglers of Legend Sportfish. And back to you, Matt.
Remember to like our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and tap on the bell to be notified instantly when we post a new video on YouTube. And of course, to be a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine to be part of the Dreamboat contest and Coastal Kayak Clash. Check out this video's description on YouTube for all the related links and index for specific reports. Please support our correspondents by visiting their websites and social media pages. See you right here next week at thefisherman.com.
Steigercraft boats, built by people who fish our waters. Serious anglers choose Steigercraft for their 40 years of boat building experience right here in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. Visit steigercraft.com for a dealer near you.